So, you want to build a sales team that doesn't just hit its targets, but completely blows them out of the water? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to break down the entire world of sales management into an actionable blueprint. Let's dive in. Here's the game plan. We're going to start with the foundation, the sales management blueprint. Then, we'll talk about how to actually assemble your all-star team and give them the essential selling toolkit. From there, we'll get into how to fuel their peak performance. And finally, we'll power the whole thing up with the right technology. It's really the entire life cycle from start to finish. All right, let's jump into section 1, the sales management blueprint. Just like building a house, a killer sales team needs a rock-solid plan before you even think about hiring anyone. So, let's get on the same page. What even is sales management? Look, it's not just about shouting, "Go sell more," at your team. It's a strategic process. It's about planning the attack, directing your team on the field, and controlling the whole operation to make sure you're hitting those crucial revenue goals. Think of it as the brain of the entire sales operation. A really solid plan boils down to 4 steps. First step, you have to identify your target customers. Who are you really selling to? Second, define your objectives. Make them crystal clear and measurable. Third, develop your overall strategy. That's your high level, how are we going to win? And finally, create a concrete action plan with specific tasks. See how that works? It funnels right down from the big vision to what your team does every single day. Now, a huge part of planning is sales forecasting. And listen, this is not about gazing into a crystal ball, okay? It's about using your past sales data and what's happening in the market to make a really good, educated guess about the future. When you do this right, you can set realistic quotas, you can manage your budget, and you know exactly when you need to hire. It's all about making smart decisions with data instead of just crossing your fingers. Okay, on to section 2, building your all-star team. Because let's be honest, you could have the most amazing blueprint in the world, but without a skilled crew to execute it, it's pretty much useless. Before you even dream of posting a job ad, you have to start with analysis. You've got to ask, what does this role really need to succeed? Define the specific skills, the experience, the key competencies. This analysis is your foundation because it helps you write a job description that pulls in the right people and pushes away the wrong ones from the very beginning. So once you know exactly who you're looking for, it's time to recruit. And the key here, cast a really wide net. Don't just post on one job board and call it a day. Hit up social media, professional networks, and especially employee referrals. Seriously, your current team often knows the best people. The more diverse your channels, the better your talent pool is going to be. And that brings us to the final step, selection. This has to be a multi-stage process. You use interviews to gauge experience, you use practical assessments to actually test their skills, and you always do reference checks to make sure their story adds up. You're not just looking for someone who can do the job, you're looking for the absolute best fit for your team's culture. Okay, so you've got the plan, you've got the team. Let's move on to section 3, the essential selling toolkit. It's time to arm our all-stars with the skills and techniques they need to actually go out there and win. At the core of all great selling is communication. It all starts with active listening, truly hearing what a customer needs. Then you need empathy to connect with them on a human level. From there, you need clear communication, so your message is never confusing. And you've got to have a positive attitude to keep things moving forward. When you have all of those, that's when you get genuine persuasion. They're all pieces of the same puzzle. Here's a total game changer for negotiation. Most people negotiate on positions. That's what someone says they want, like, I need a 20% discount. But the pros, they negotiate on interests. That's the why behind the request. Like, I need to make this fit into my quarterly budget. When you focus on the underlying need, you can find all sorts of creative solutions that work for everyone without just giving away the farm. This really gets to the heart of what modern selling is all about. It's not about one-off transactions anymore. It's about building strong, long-term relationships. When you can truly understand a customer's needs and offer them personalized solutions, you stop being just another vendor and you become a trusted advisor. And that's where the magic happens. All right, your team is hired, they're trained up. Let's dig into section 4, fueling peak performance. This is all about the day-to-day grind, how you motivate people and measure success to keep that engine running hot. This is the million-dollar question for every manager, right? You've done all the prep work, you built an amazing team, you gave them all the tools, so now what? How do you actually drive those incredible results day in and day out? When you think about motivation,
You gotta look at it from two sides. Of course, you have your financial incentives, salary, commission, bonuses. That stuff is critical. It's the fuel. But just as important are the non-financial incentives. Things like public recognition, a simple great job from a manager, new challenges to tackle, and a supportive team culture. The best strategies blend both of these together to keep people fired up.
But performance isn't just about motivation, right? You need a solid evaluation system. It really comes down to three things. 1. Set SMART goals that's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. 2. Monitor your key performance indicators or KPIs to know if you're on track. And 3. Provide constant, regular feedback and coaching. It's a continuous loop of setting expectations, checking in, and helping your team get better.
And that brings us to our final piece of the puzzle, Section 5, powering up with technology. Because let's face it, in today's world, technology has completely changed the game for sales managers. First up, the absolute cornerstone of sales tech, the CRM. That's customer relationship management. Just think of it as your team's shared brain. It's one central place for every customer interaction, every email, every call. It makes sure nothing ever falls through the cracks and gives everyone a 360-degree view of the customer.
Next, you've got SFA, or Salesforce Automation. This is your efficiency engine. This software takes care of all the boring, repetitive tasks, like sending follow-up emails or logging activities. This frees up your salespeople from doing data entries so they can spend their time on what they were actually hired to do, sell. And finally, there is BI, or Business Intelligence Tools. Look, if the CRM is the brain, then BI is the analytical part of that brain. These tools take all of your sales data and transform it into dashboards and reports that actually make sense. This is how you spot trends, see what's working, and make big strategic decisions based on facts, not feelings.
So when you put all of this tech together, your CRM, your automation, your intelligence tools, the benefits are just massive. You get streamlined processes, way better data analysis, your team collaboration goes through the roof, and ultimately, you and your whole organization end up making much, much smarter decisions. And there you have it. We've gone all the way from the blueprint and the initial plan to building the team, giving them the right skills, keeping them motivated, and finally, boosting everything with technology. These are the core pieces that turn a bunch of individuals into one single, powerful, high-performing sales engine. So I'll leave you with this one question to chew on. Your own sales engine is made up of all these different parts we talked about. If you are being honest with yourself, which one, the plan, the people, the skills, the motivation, or the tech, needs a tune-up first? That's the real question, isn't it?